Hey there, it's Klay here with a new video. Today I will read a new story called The Son of Two Heroes. Check the description for more info about the author of the story. Now that that's all out of the way, I will now start reading. Naruto. Hey, found you Iruka-sensei. A 9-year-old Naruto said to the scarred Chunin. With a swift firm smack to the back of the head, Iruka shouted back, I found you, you idiot. Eyes to the ground. Naruto didn't say a word. Naruto. When are you going to take your studies seriously? Frowning, Iruka continued, at this rate you'll fail the academy, Naruto. With a faint mumble Naruto responded, it's not like they listen to me. Say again? They don't listen to me. They look down on me and ignore me and go out of their way to make my life hard. I've tried sensei, I really have. Naruto frowned and sighed, I can't learn when they won't teach me. Naruto. Iruka sighed. Flashback, Iruka. Yes, Lord Third? Naruto is a very special boy, a boy who I have no doubt has the potential to be the most gifted shinobi ever produced by the Hidden Leaf. However, talent, like using water for power, must be tapped and cultivated to be molded into something greater. The most gifted Lord Third? Iruka replied, eyes wide. Iruka, what I'm about to tell you is an S-class secret, known only to 6 people in this village. I tell you because you have shown to me you care for the boy. Lord Hokage or Yo, with a stern tone, Hiruzen cut him off. Iruka, please just listen. Many mistakes have been made by this old man, many I very much regret. Sarutobi said in an almost weak voice. He suddenly regained the tone of a battle-hardened Hokage and continued on, however, Uzumaki Naruto will not be one of these many mistakes. For Naruto is not only the hero of the Hidden Leaf for jailing the 9 tails, but he is the son of our very own 4th Hokage. Iruka's eyes shot wide and his mouth would have dropped open, were it not for his restraint as a shinobi. The son of Lord 4th. And all this time weep. Indeed, it was Minato's wish for Naruto to be seen as a hero. Hiruzen sighed, I may have failed Minato, but I will not fail young Naruto. Please Iruka instruct him to the greatest of your ability and lay the foundation for him to become a splendid shinobi. Flashback end, alright then. Iruka suddenly shouted. A sensei? Naruto, do you wish to learn, and become a splendid shinobi? Of course. I really do want to learn, sensei. But do you really think I can be a good ninja? Iruka smiled down at the boy, ruffled his hair, and replied, Naruto, I believe you have what it takes to not only become a wonderful shinobi, but also the greatest Hokage. Naruto's eyes widened at that statement, and for the first time, he felt the determination and resolve in him harden into something he knew that was completely unbreakable. Little did Iruka know, he had just placed Uzumaki Naruto on a path that would later become one of legend. Alright Naruto, meet me outside the academy an hour after classes are out every day. Got it? Yes, sensei. 3-year time skip. Over the next 3 years, Iruka gave extra training and lessons to Naruto to help him catch up on what he had been missing because of the Bias Academy teachers. Iruka taught the basics of shinobi to Naruto, Tai, Nin, and Genjutsu. Although, as it turns out, Naruto is terrible at Genjutsu, and it seems he may actually be incapable of it. However, Iruka learned many things about the once thought dead last. By now, he had raised to number 2 in the class, just behind Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto, as it turns out, was quite a bit more like his father than Iruka ever could have originally thought. It seemed now that he was no longer desperate for attention or any sort of acknowledgement. He had put aside his exuberant, brash, and inattentive actions, and began to lose his lack of formality or social standings. Naruto's true personality with a proper adult influence in his life had become something quite akin to his father's. He seemed to be more perceptive and collected. For the most part, he was respectful, but could still be overly excitable and quick-tempered. He still possessed his indomitable spirit and fierce ambition that drove him through all his choices in life. He is of unwavering loyalty to Konoha and his precious people. The young Uzumaki proved to be mature and very serious. He had also shown to have a sharp wit, carefully thinking before acting and able to see the underlying nature of the situation at hand, while, for the most part, remaining calm and collected. He had since changed his clothing styles and upgraded his gear. Along with these changes, he had let his hair grow to the point that it had started to imitate Minato's. It was a wonder why the villagers never noticed the uncanny resemblance. One of his greatest strengths was when it came to close-range combat. He had surprised his faithful instructor with his talent. The most impressive part was his seamless mastery over the substitution. The scarred Chunin had never seen someone use the technique in such a way before. Naruto's style of combat has become truly unique in a way completely unexpected. Through the use of lightning fast substitution with kunais, he'd found a way to almost instantaneously close a gap in close quarters as well as get behind his foe in seconds. The only problem Naruto had with his new technique was replacing himself with something so small was extremely taxing on his stamina and his chakra reserves. If he didn't focus enough during the execution, an unnecessary amount of residual chakra would slam back into his chakra coils, putting immense strain on them, effectively semi-handicapping his super trump card. Naruto had undergone almost brutal training on chakra control from his instructor to try to get the clone jutsu down. In the end, after finally being able to do the leaf-sticking exercise, the boy was able to make the clone if done in sets of 4. Among the many accomplishments Naruto had made in the past 3 years, one was very special to him. His first real friend, and the second person to acknowledge him, even though the bastard would never admit it. Sasuke acknowledged Naruto's skill, not that Naruto gave him much of a choice. They met up for spars or jutsu practice almost every day before or after the academy. Together they had honed their taijutsu to near perfection, along with drilling chakra control into their skulls. Unless at the training grounds, they never talked very much. It had also been pretty difficult for the rest of the students of the academy to accept that the one person Sasuke talked to was Naruto. A dull thunk was heard as a small male academy student landed in the dirt. "Winner Inuzuka Kiba," came the loud and authoritative voice of Amino Iruka. A loud laugh rang out for the victorious boy. "Yeah, anyone else want some?" Kiba stood in the fight circle with a feral grin on his face. "I'll happily take my chances," a calm voice called out, belonging to one Uzumaki Naruto. Walking out toward the fighting mat, standing at a solid 5 foot 2 inches tall, Naruto was about equal in height with his classmates, and in some cases he was physically taller than some students. A long overdue change-up in his diet was practically forced upon him by Iruka, although he still managed to put down at least 3 bowls of ramen each day. Dressed in a black t-shirt with orange stripes in the middle of the sleeves, metal arm protectors, leather straps around his back and chest, and dark pants, Naruto really did look the part of a shinobi. "Do you have the energy to run another match, Kiba?" asked the scarred Chunin, with a slightly concerned look. "For a scrub like Naruto?" Kiba laughed. "Of course I do, sensei." Kiba cracked his knuckles with a predatory grin. "Act cocky all you want, Kiba. I respect your skill, but you and I both know it's been a year and a half since you've beat me in a spar." "I'm no scrub," Naruto countered with a half smile. "Alright, Naruto versus Kiba," Iruka announced and held up his hand. "Ready?" A resounding yes from both boys was heard. "Begin." Instantly Naruto was on Kiba, charging in with a burst of speed to send a right hook at the dog whisperer. Kiba was put on the defensive, but the boy was no pushover. Considering his training in his family's taijutsu, he was one of the best in the academy, but Naruto's hard work and inherently prodigal mind had turned him into a polished and effective neutralizer. Kiba threw a hard right cross at Naruto, who let it hit, but only to grab Kiba's arm and slam him to the ground. 2 quick consecutive hits to the back of the head on the way down sent Kiba's head reeling with stars in his eyes. Managing to right himself and continue fighting, he charged in at Naruto, connecting his fist to his target's abdomen. Taking the hit, he launched back, observing the feral boy. Naruto waited for him to re-initiate. The marked boy rushed in low and attempted to sweep out the blonde's legs. The attack was dodged and he immediately made space, but in a burst of speed Naruto was at his side with a spin kick to his left hip. The sound of Naruto's foot connecting resounded and the feral Inuzuka was sent flying out of the fight area. "Winner Uzumaki Naruto," the instructor announced. "Alright, make the unison sign." Kiba and Naruto met in the middle and smiled at one another. Quickly making the sign and then letting go, they broke apart. Sliding his hands into his pockets and slowly walking away, Naruto smiled, considering his progress in the last 3 years. "I will be Hokage one day, and I'm just one step closer every day," thought the blonde. As other students began to duke it out, Naruto stood unmoving, staring at the Hokage mountain. "Oi Naruto, what are you doing?" asked a rather large boy crunching on a bag of chips as he spoke. Naruto spun around to face the voice and immediately saw who was speaking. "Oh, sorry Choji, I was just thinking about how hard I had to work to get here and how much harder I'm going to have to work in a week after we graduate," the golden-haired boy said with a smile. "Man, you're so troublesome, Naruto. Working so hard is a drag. I don't understand how you can go at it like that." A spiky ponytailed boy in his trademark lazy and irritated tone. "Of course you wouldn't understand, Shika. Your goal in life is to be mediocre. But, me, I'm aiming for the top," Naruto called out to him with a ear-to-ear grin. "HN, dead last, as if you'll ever hit the top," rang the voice of one Uchiha Sasuke. "It's been a long time since I've been the dead last Sasu-chan," called Naruto. "You're still loser though," the black-haired boy replied with a glare at the subtle insult. "Alright, enough you two. Class is over, everyone head home," called out the Chunin instructor. "Later guys," Naruto called out as he took off down the street. The blonde academy student made his way toward training ground 14, one that wasn't often used by anyone in Konoha's shinobi forces. Made up of a medium-sized clearing with a small stream running through it, it was a quiet and secluded space. Naruto approached the water and slowly stepped onto it to continue practicing water walking. With his high chakra reserves, the Hokage and Iruka sensei had deemed it best that he learn tree climbing due to his high need for chakra control. Later down the line he had seen a few leaf nin sparring in another training ground and had watched as they ran across water. Logically he deduced that the tree climbing exercise would be practical for use of walking across water. Over the course of the next 4 months, he had practiced to the point he could steadily walk on water but still needed to concentrate fairly hard in keeping his chakra in check. His goal now was to do it subconsciously. He began throwing kunai at targets he had set up, simultaneously moving across the water, but halted when he sensed a chakra signature appear behind him. "Can I help you, Neko-san?" he asked to said Anbu agent as she appeared seemingly out of thin air. They had long since stopped being surprised at his ability to sense them. Flashback: Naruto sat at the stall in Ichiraku with the Hokage as they chatted about Naruto's schooling. "So Naruto, how is your TR? "Oh hey Neko," Naruto interrupted the aged shinobi. As a Anbu with a cat mask suddenly appeared behind them. "Naruto, how did you know Neko was here?" asked the slightly surprised leader. "Wha? Oh, I'm not sure, I guess I just kind of, well, knew? I felt her, I suppose? Why, is that strange?" Donning a look of slight concern the boy asked. "Wait, did I do something wrong?" The Hokage chuckled and looked down at Naruto. No, my dear boy. It's just uncommon. It seems you have a fairly rare ability among shinobi." Naruto's facial expression went from concern to shocked and then to excitement. "A rare ability? No way. Do I have a sweet awesome bloodline technique or something? I knew I was the best, ya know." Chuckling again with a grin of his own but speaking in his professor voice, Sarutobi started. No, young man. Not a bloodline, but you do seem to be a sensor. This is quite a convenient ability to have for a shinobi. You can sense chakra signatures of others around you. Try stretching your chakra OU. Clearing her throat rather loudly and interrupting Neko announced her leader. "Hokage-sama, please. You are needed urgently by the council. I apologize for my interruption, but this is very important." "Ah, yes, my dear. Alright then. Sorry, my boy, but I must be going. The duty of the Hokage calls," Hiruzen said. "Don't worry old man, you won't have to do it much longer because I'm gonna come get that hat from you soon, you know." Naruto shouted at the back of the aged cage as he made his way off with the Anbu. "I look forward to that day then," Hiruzen stated with a chuckle. Flashback: and the Anbu agent looked at the blonde and responded. "Lord Third Hokage has requested your presence in the tower. Please, come with me." "Right. Let's get going then," Naruto said, gaining a serious look on his face as the agent used the body flicker to take them both to the office of the cage. "Lord Third, sir," Naruto stated as they entered. "Ah, hello Naruto. I trust you're working hard in your training? Walk with me, boy." Hiruzen began to walk out the door and head up the stairs to the roof of the tower. "I am, Hokage-sama. I'm working on my water walking right now. If you don't mind my asking, why am I here?" Naruto asked while rushing to catch up to the elder. They arrived on the roof overlooking the village. It was sunny and warm with a cool breeze floating through the air. The Hokage passed his gaze over the village and then behind him and up at the Hokage mountain. Naruto, my boy, you'll be a ninja soon if you pass your test at the academy. Assuming you will, and I do believe you are capable, there are many things you need to be informed of. Naruto, donning a look of confusion and suspicion on his face, then asked, "What do you mean by that, sir?" "There are things you need to know to help with your development as a shinobi and your service to the village. I also intend to, upon your reaching the rank of genin, inform you of the identity of your mother, my boy," Hiruzen said, gaining a softer look and a sad tone in remembrance of Kushina as he finished his statement. Eyes widening and tears slightly appearing in the corners of his eyes as he began to slightly shake, Naruto peered up at old Sarutobi. "Am my mother, old man? Why, you knew her? My real mother? You never told me." Taking a deep breath to calm himself, he continued, "I'm sure you had your reasons, sir, but why did you never tell me?" "That I did. I knew her quite well in that right. I couldn't tell you because your mother had many enemies. But after you graduate, you will know, my boy." Hiruzen sighed, saddened by the way the boy completely controlled his almost breakdown, but inwardly gained a new respect for the boy's discipline in his emotions, a key necessity in the life of a shinobi. Only a week was left before the genin graduation exams. Naruto was slightly excited, but still kept himself well composed. He had finished his water walking training and now had a much better grasp on his chakra control. He had also gained better mastery of his most prized and favorite technique, the substitution with his kunai. He was now able to do it a total of 8 times during spars with Sasuke or training sessions without tearing apart his chakra coils. He could still use the substitution in its usual implications, like substituting a log with no problems, even after using his kunai substitution. Still, substituting the kunai was very strenuous. He needed to let himself rest afterwards so his coils could expand and cushion themselves for more of the extreme stress the technique would cause. Honing his taijutsu and ninjutsu skills, Naruto knew that he was ready to take on the exam. He practiced his bunshin and substitution along with his transformation, which he had managed to make entirely solid. The blonde decided to spend his week studying, as well as practicing his techniques. It was going to be a long week no matter what, and he had to be at his peak. This was it. He was ready. It was time to become a genin and he could finally learn about his mother. Naruto was positively ecstatic and ready to go. Sliding on his black t-shirt, he strapped on his metal arm protectors, and donned his black pants. Closing the door with a thud, he took off for the academy. Having finished the written portion, and completed the demonstrations of ninjutsu, the genin hopefuls found themselves outside for a taijutsu test. "Alright class, listen up," the white-haired Chunin instructor called out. "Each of you will spar with me, and Iruka will assess your skill, got it?" A chorus of "yes" came from the class and the matches started. Most had quite a bit of trouble with Mizuki but still managed to pass. The clan kids however did fairly well against the hardened Chunin. Kiba giving him a considerable amount of trouble. "Inuzuka Kiba, pass," Iruka announced. "Hinata Hyuga, please come up." Hinata then began her match doing well and subsequently passing as many others did. The students one by one were called up and tested. Uchiha Sasuke, as his name was called, the stoic and bored-looking last survivor, walked up to the mat and took his stance, preparing for Mizuki's inevitable assault. Mizuki dashed at the confident Uchiha. They quickly engaged in a fierce taijutsu bout. Sasuke threw himself into a heel drop on the Chunin, but his superior speed allowed him a quick dodge. When the Uchiha's foot impacted the ground, however, he quickly adjusted into a spin kick, catching Mizuki in the back. At that point Iruka called the match, and Sasuke casually strolled off of the mat, causing his fangirls to ooh and ah about how cool he was. "Alright, Uzumaki Naruto," hearing Iruka call his name, the boy made his way to the mat. Mizuki smiled at him and wished him luck, telling him to do his best, but something seemed off to Naruto. In the Chunin's mind, he intended to rough up the Jinchuriki, something fierce. Naruto meanwhile sensed something was off, but pushed the thought to the back of his mind as he knew he had to pass this test so he could learn of his mother and start his path to Hokage. Naruto settled into his stance and readied himself. The Chunin immediately kicked off at speeds higher than that he had used on the other students. Naruto's eyes widened slightly in surprise at this, but once again, he pushed it to the back of his mind and engaged. The blonde slid under a hard spin kick, pouncing on one hand and slamming his foot into Mizuki's hip. "This damn brat hits hard," Mizuki thought with a snarl. He twisted around and caught the boy in the ribs with his fist, launching the boy backwards. However, Naruto caught himself in a handstand and spun around onto his feet facing his opponent. With a chakra-enhanced sprint, he cleared the space between them in what almost seemed like an instant. He found himself wishing in the back of his mind he could have used his kunai substitution. Just as he reached the Chunin, he did the unexpected and slid onto the ground, catching Mizuki by the ankles and pulling his feet out from under him, slamming him face first into the ground. A slightly stunned Iruka starred for a moment before regaining his composure, clearing his throat and announcing, "Uzumaki Naruto, pass." Naruto stood beside a still-downed Mizuki and smiled at the scarred Chunin. The other instructor got up and dusted himself off and made his way to Iruka's side, muttering about brats and demons. "You'll pay for this, you damn demon brat." Mizuki thought to himself as tried to hide his humiliation and shame by putting up a fake smile and told the boy well done. The class all then filed back into the academy and took seats. "Alright everyone, on Monday be here at 8 am sharp for team assignments. Enjoy your downtime because life's about to get a lot more interesting." Iruka finished off with a smile. "Everyone head home," he said with a wave as he and Mizuki left the room to go write reports on all of the soon-to-be genin. After they left the academy, Naruto and Sasuke met up at Training Ground 14. "Hey there bastard," Naruto called out with a grin as he arrived. "HN," Sasuke grunted with a smirk of his own. "Ready to lose, loser?" he asked arrogantly. Sure, little Sasuke," Naruto said mockingly, sticking out his tongue. "Let's get wild then," he said. The Uchiha grunted at the taunt. Sasuke and Naruto took their stances and Naruto threw a kunai into the air. When it hit the ground, they burst into a fierce bout of taijutsu, engaging each other with hard blows. These two never were and never would be ordinary genin. It was late the next evening when Naruto, who was committing himself to another round of physical training, sensed the presence of his second sensei moving quickly past his training ground. "That's strange," Naruto thought to himself. "Past this training ground is just the edge of the village. Wait, he couldn't be? Is he deserting the village? No, I know sensei doesn't like me, but I'm sure he wouldn't turn traitor." And so the boy chose to investigate and took off in the direction of his teacher. "Uzumaki Naruto has stolen the scroll of seals." A leaf Junin yelled. "Mobilize the Chunin Corps. Now," a voice broke through the chaos. "You will all find young Uzumaki and bring him to me unharmed and with the scroll in tow. Is that understood?" The third Hokage commanded his shinobi. "Lord Third?" a Chunin asked. "But surely he stole the SCR. I said, is that understood?" the Hokage asked in a no-nonsense tone. "Why yes sir. Good, now go." The village leader waved his hand in dismissal and the shinobi scattered. Inu, a tall Anbu with a dog mask and spiky silver hair, landed next to the aged Hokage in a kneeling position. "Go find Naruto. There is a traitor amongst us who has tried to impersonate Naruto as a cover for his escape. The scroll he stole is fake, but we must catch him. But if I know our boy, he will find his way into this trouble, or the traitor may try to harm him." The Hokage then sighed. "Keep him safe, Inu." "Yes, Lord Hokage," and with the wind the Anbu was gone. The forest was quiet as Naruto watched the Chunin scout the area and prepare his things. Deeply troubling the boy was the large scroll with the Hokage's seal on it. No Chunin should be out in the forest on the edge of the village with a scroll of high importance alone. This could only mean one thing. Damn it, could that possibly mean you're a traitor after all? Naruto questioned to himself. The Chunin was rushing himself, obviously in a slight panic. Wonder what's got him so shook up. Dropping down a few yards away from the supposed traitor, Naruto called out, "Hey! Mizuki-sensei! What are you doing out here at this time of night? Are you lost, sensei?" When Mizuki heard the voice, he turned around, and when he saw the young blonde he thought to himself, things just might work out a little better now. Naruto approaches his sensei and smiled at him. "I can help if ya want." "Whoa, what's that super big scroll?" Mizuki's eyes narrowed, and in seconds a large Fuma shuriken appeared in his hand and slammed into the spot Naruto had been standing. Had he not had the reflexes he possessed from his rigorous training, he would have been killed. Naruto leapt back to create space, instinctively throwing a volley of shuriken at his foe. "So you really are a traitor," he wondered aloud. "Hopefully someone comes along to assist, but I'm not just gonna let you take off on the village like this. I'll keep you here until someone shows up." "Ha, as if you could keep up with me, demon brat." Mizuki chuckled darkly. "You're weak in that form, aren't you, monster fox?" "Wait, Monster. Fox? Why you mean the 9 tails? Why? Why do you people all keep calling me that? Do you know you bastard? Tell me. Naruto exclaimed, composure crumbling down under a tidal wave of emotion. It's simple, you damn demon. 12 years ago, when the 4th Hokage fought the 9-tailed fox, he sealed it in you. You are the 9 tails. You are the monster fox. Mizuki began to cackle at Naruto's expression. That's why they all hate you. Even Iruka, and now I'm gonna get rid of you for good. He yelled, laughing as the boy fell onto his rear in disbelief. He then wrenched his arm back and launched his Fuma Shuriken. No! A voice cried out, and the dull thud and of steel impacting flesh rang through the small clearing. It's true, there is a demon fox inside you. But you are its jailer. You're no monster fox, Naruto. You're a great student, and I acknowledge you and your incredible talent, along with the immense potential you possess as a shinobi. Iruka coughed up a bit of blood but smiled at him. Hunched over the boy with the large shuriken sticking out of his back. You are Uzumaki Naruto of Konoha. As heartwarming as this is, it's time to die. Both of you. Mizuki yelled out. Naruto stood, laying Iruka down against a tree while removing the shuriken. Rest now, Iruka-sensei, I'll take things from here. Thank you. That was when Iruka noticed the look of absolute determination and unshakable resolve the boy had on his face. He smiled at the blonde. Good luck, Iruka said to him softly. Sensei, I make my own luck, the boy replied with a smile. Oi, bastard. If you lay one finger on my sensei ever again, Naruto pointed at his forehead with his thumb. I'll kill you. You can try, fox, yelled Mizuki, who charged at the boy. A volley of shuriken come his way, but Naruto deflected them with his kunai. He then launched his own volley but of kunai. They flew toward Mizuki and the Chunin deflected all but one. Only to tilt his head to the side and avoid it. Then, the blonde disappeared. Reappearing in his place was a kunai, and Naruto's foot slammed into the older mon's back. Stumbling, Mizuki found himself about to fall right in front of the kunai from before, only to see it disappear, and felt the boy's sandal plant itself in his face. The traitorous nin was launched backwards, righting himself in time to see the young boy launch into a spin kick that planted itself firmly in Mizuki's chest, slamming him into a tree. Eyes widened in shock, the Chunin thought to himself, how? How did he get so strong? Raw. No matter, I'll use the power Lord Orochimaru has given me and destroy this pest. Mizuki's body was suddenly covered in black markings and his chakra began to flare up. Naruto's eyebrow rose in confusion. What's with this malevolent chakra? The boy wondered to himself. But suddenly a loud chirping sound rang through the clearing, and in a flash of blue light a hand rammed out of Mizuki's chest. The Chunin coughed up blood and managed to get out a gurgled, "Wah," before abruptly dying. His body slid off of the arm and landed on the ground. Naruto's gaze focused on the arm but slowly followed it up to its owner, a dog-masked Anbu. Inu? What are you doing here? Naruto was shocked but relieved to see the Black Ops nin. Hokage's orders. He stares blankly. He walked to Iruka and checked on him, bandaging his back. He then stood to look at the young man. You did well, Naruto, be proud. Now stay with him while I go grab a medic, I'd rather not move him. Why yes sir. Thank you. Naruto managed to get out, straightening his stance out to look more presentable, and the Anbu disappeared in a swirl of leaves. One day I need to learn how to do that, he muttered to himself. Naruto. The pained voice of Iruka came. Come here, he grunted as he fully sat himself up against the tree. What is it? Sensei, you shouldn't move. The boy knelt next to the Chunin. A look of worry etched onto his face. You did well, Naruto, Iruka said with a smile. I have no doubt you'll make a great Hokage one day. And with that, for the first time in at least 3 years, Naruto cried. Taking the empty seat next to Sasuke, Naruto settled in for team assignments. Iruka entered and began a long speech. After that was finished, Iruka smiled at his class. Alright, team assignments are as follows. Naruto spaced out, only listening only for his name. And Hinazuki Rika. You guys are team 2, your Junin sensei will be Satomi Yuta. Ka? Where have I heard that before? Naruto questioned to himself. Unsure, he thought on it longer but couldn't come up with anything for why he would recognize the name. Team 7, Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura, and Uzumaki Naruto. Your Junin sensei will be Hatake Kakashi. drawled out Iruka, who became suddenly surprised at Kakashi being a Junin sensei. What the hell? I thought the worst and best in the class are supposed to be on the same team? Why's the second rank in with the Rookie of the Year? That's op. Kiba shouted out. Well, after scores were taken, Sasuke and Naruto have tied for Rookie of the Year. And it's a direct order from Lord 3rd Hokage. Kiba's eyes widened in shock and he slightly cowered in his seat at the tone. Anything else, Kiba? No, sensei. Kiba called out. Good. Team 8 is Inuzuka Kiba, Aburame Shino, and Hyuga Hinata. Your Jonin sensei will be Yuhi Kurenai. Iruka continued on in hopes of preventing any idle chatter. Team 9 is still in service, so Team 10 will be Nara Shikamaru, Akamichi Choji, and Yamanaka Ino. Your Junin sensei will be Sarutobi Asuma. Wiping his brow in relief, Iruka continued, Alright, that's it. Everyone hang around and wait for your sensei. I look forward to watching you each develop as a shinobi. This was it. He was a ninja now, and he could finally know who his mother was. Naruto sprinted across rooftops headed for the Hokage Tower. He earned these answers and he had every intention of getting them. Finally arriving at the tower, the boy walked in. Walking up to the secretary, someone who had never been bad to him but had always been indifferent. He put a big smile on his face and said, How's it going? Is Lord 3rd in a meeting? She grunted and replied, No, he just got out of one, you can go up. Thanks a ton, he said, taking off up the stairs, and right before bursting through the doors he stopped himself. He reminded himself, he was a genin now and he had duties and responsibilities to handle, as well as a reputation to uphold. Time to go find out about mom, he thought to himself. To be honest, he was nervous, but that wasn't gonna stop him. He grabbed the handle and turned. The Hokage smiled as he sensed the boy standing behind the door. He was slightly surprised the boy didn't just throw them open. He heard a turn and a click, and watched the door open. The boy stepped into his office, a slight look of apprehension in his face that soon shifted to one of determination. Sarutobi smiled. This boy really was something. I've a feeling your son is going to take the ninja world by storm, Minato. Hello, Lord Hokage, Naruto said, slowly approaching the desk. Ah, good to see you, Naruto boy. Please come take a seat. I assume you're here to find out about your mother, no? Yes, sir, I've been looking forward to it since you told me. Not only have you earned your headband and become a genin, but you also stopped a very important traitor. Which, by the way, will be added to your record as a B-rank mission. You will be paid accordingly. Hiruzen smiled at Naruto. You've made fine progress, Naruto. Thank you, Lord Hokage. Naruto smiled back, but I believe you know why I'm here? Ah yes, to learn of your mother. And no need to be so formal, my boy, it's just us in here right now. Alright, old man. So, what was her name? Naruto asked. Hiruzen stood turning around and staring out the window over the village. Your mother's name was UzumakiKushina. UzumakiKushina? That's a beautiful name. Naruto smiled at the Hokage's back. Aye, my boy, a beautiful name it is. She was much more beautiful in person. Sarutobi sighed. I wish with all my heart that she could be here to see you grow, Naruto. Naruto stared at the floor. He didn't really know what to say. Do you have a picture of her? He heard the old Hokage sigh sadly and a drawer open. He looked up as he heard something slide across the desk toward him. Staring back at him was a beautiful red-haired woman, smiling contently. That's my mother? UzumakiKushina? Yes. Sarutobi stated simply. Old man Hokage, did she love me? Naruto asked, voice breaking and tears threatening to leak from his eyes. Your mother loved you more than anything on this planet. That I can say with absolute certainty. Sarutobi looked upon the boy with soft eyes. Even in her last moments she thought of nothing but you, Naruto. Sarutobi sighed, remembering the day he hated most in his long life. Flashback: the third Hokage arrived at the spot where the Nine Tails had last been, and what greeted him was a dead Hokage, his near-death wife, and a small baby boy with whisker marks on his cheeks. A Junin leaned over the body of Minato, Lord Fourth. Getting no response, he realized he was dead. At the same time, another Junin lifted Kushina into a sitting position. Lady Kushina. Ignoring the Junin, Kushina spoke. Third. Sarutobi was in front of her in a second, Naruto securely held in his arms. Kushina, please look after my child. His name is Naruto. She said shakily, drawing small breaths. Minato and I took it from a novel, by Jiraiya-sensei. Naruto, Sarutobi said, I'll remember. I'll take full responsibility. The Hokage looked down at the boy, continuing, so please don't speak anymore. For his sake, too. However, when he looked up again, Kushina was dead. Flashback end. Old man. How did she die? Naruto asked sadly. Protecting you, directly from the Nine Tails. She gave her life for yours. She loved you so much, my boy. Sarutobi said softly. Naruto smiled sadly. Do you have more pictures? Did you know her? Can you tell me about her? The boy asked rapidly. Of course, my boy. The Hokage smiled more brightly this time. And Naruto grinned in response. Little did they know they would spend the next 4 hours, chatting about Kushina. The office that had minutes before been filled with an air of sadness, slowly turned into a room that was so cheerful even Sasuke would smile just by stepping inside. Naruto was to be a real ninja soon. With knowledge of his mother and her will of fire, nothing could stop him. He would uphold her legacy to the highest of standards. He was ecstatic. Naruto was, for lack of a better term, extremely disappointed. This is a Jonin? What the hell? Said Junin had been 3 hours late to pick his team up. Naruto was not happy, and when the man walked in he simply leveled a light glare at the man. Sasuke bore a scowl and Sakura has a worried look after seeing the anger in her teammates' faces. Kakashi strolled into the room causally, but was met with an atmosphere of killing intent and worry. Looking to the two boys, he saw their glares and Sakura's worry. My first impression of all of you is, you're extremely hostile. The Junin stated with a bored tone, causing a sweat drop from all three fresh genin. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. He then disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Naruto smiled slightly, but then he noticed something. Why does his chakra signature feel so familiar? He mentally asked himself. Naruto quickly got up and walked out, making his way to the roof and prompting the other two of Team 7 to follow. Arriving on the roof, the three new shinobi found their new sensei leaning against a railing. Alright, my cute little genin, come sit down, he chuckled lightly. Let's introduce ourselves then. Tell me about your likes and dislikes, and your dreams. Kakashi said. Can you go first as an example, sensei? The pink one asked. Does she really need an example for this? Kakashi mentally sweat dropped. Yeah, sure, I suppose. Sighing, he continued. My name is Hatake Kakashi. I like some things and I dislike others. My dreams are none of your business. I smiled at them. We only got his name. The genin sweat dropped at their sensei. Alright, Pinky, you're up first. My name is Haruno Sakura. I mean the thing I like. She trailed off giggling and glanced at Sasuke. I dislike Ino pig, and foods that are too spicy. She giggled again. Oh, my dream is to be a strong kunoichi, and one day start a family. Good enough, I suppose. You're next, Whiskers. Naruto grunted at the nickname but spoke anyway. I have a name, it's Uzumaki Naruto. He shouted. Calming himself, he continued. I like ramen, ayame-ne, and my friends. I dislike traitors. My dream is to be Hokage. The greatest one yet, and to be faster than the Lord Fourth Hokage himself, as well as surpass my mother as a shinobi. Alright, duck butt. You're up. The last Uchiha grunted at the insult. Fine. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I like nothing and dislike a lot of things. I don't have a dream, but an ambition. I will kill a certain man, and restore my clan. You actually like tomatoes though. And training, and me of course. Naruto said with an ear-splitting grin. Shut up, Dobi. Sasuke retorted. Oi. Hey, I resent ya. Naruto started. Alright, enough banter. Kakashi interrupted. Meet me at Training Ground 7 tomorrow at 8 in the morning sharp for our first team exercise. And you shouldn't eat breakfast. You might throw up, he said with an eye smile. And then he was gone. The three genin were silent. So you guys wanna go get some ramen? Naruto then broke said silence. Fine. You're paying, Dobi. Sasuke replied. Why would I pay? You're the one with all the money. Naruto retorted. Alright, fine, I'll pay, damn it. The blonde grumbled as they began to walk off. A few steps down the stairs, Naruto stopped and turned around. You coming, Sakura? I can? Right, sorry, yeah, I'm coming. She replied, lighting up at being included. Kakashi stood in front of the memorial stone, collecting his thoughts. He stretched his chakra, making sure he was alone, and then sighed aloud. Sensei. I have your son on my team. I'll train him well. I won't let what happened to our team happen again. Kakashi looked at the ground and smiled slightly. He wants to surpass you not only in strength but in speed and even more so as Hokage. I've no doubt that he will one day. It seems Lord Third has also told him of Lady Kushina. Guide me please sensei. I'm glad I convinced Lord Third to give me him and Sasuke. Flashback. Inu stood before the Hokage. Sir? Stand and remove your mask Inu. The professor ordered. Kakashi, you will take a genin team again this year. Sir, no team has passed with me before. Why would we keep doing this? Kakashi inquired. You will train Uchiha Sasuke. You're the only one who can. The old Hokage puffed on his pipe. Fine. But I want Sensei's son too. Kakashi made his demand. If he was going to do this, he was going to protect his sensei's legacy. You cannot try. Respectfully Lord Third, I won't miss my chance to train him. He needs someone who knows. How many years have you had me watch over him from the shadows? It's time, sir. Kakashi demanded again, with more determination than the old Hokage has seen since the day Minato tasked Kakashi with overwatching Kushina's pregnancy. Fine. On the condition that you do not reveal his heritage to him. Sarutobi sighed. He must not be told. Not yet. When the time comes Jiraiya will return to the village to help train the boy. Eventually he will tell him. Flashback end. Kakashi's thoughts wandered to Obito, wondering how things would be if they had traded places. Obito. I'll look after Sasuke and try to save him from his hatred, like you once did for me. Thank you, Obito. The dawn of the next day saw 3 new genin stroll into Training Ground 7. Sasuke, stoic as ever, made no comment as they saw their sensei was indeed not there yet. Sakura was looking quite annoyed with her sensei, and Naruto? Well, he was currently snacking on a stick of dango and looked extremely bored. Naruto, why are you eating? Sensei said not to eat breakfast. Sakura broke the silence. Nah, his mouth full of food was then swallowed and he cleared his throat. He said we shouldn't eat breakfast. Not that we couldn't. That is absolutely. A voice promising punishment started as Kakashi landed behind the genin. Tone suddenly softening he continued, correct. Sakura nearly face faulted and Sasuke even deemed it worthy of a sweat drop. Naruto simply laughed. Alright, Kakashi said clapping his hands together. Time for your real genin test. What? Came the outraged shout of 2 out of the 3 students. Sasuke settling for a questioning grunt. Kakashi eyes smiled at them and then pulled out a timer setting it on a post next to him. He then pulled out 2 bells and tied them to his waist. To become genin you must first take a bell from me. Any of you with a bell by the time this timer goes off, pass. He lowered his tone slightly and continued, however, anyone without will be sent back to the academy, but sensei there's only 2 bells? Sakura questioned, does that mean, yes, Kakashi interrupted, only 2 of you can pass this test. No matter what, one of you is going back to the academy. Shit, high stakes then, alright let's get this done. Naruto stated. Come at me with the intent to kill. Otherwise you will not succeed. The Junin stated. Your test starts. Now. The genin immediately scattered and hid off in the trees. Naruto observed the lazy Junin with a calculating gaze. Wondering what exactly his game was. This test can't be normal. Why separate from a 3-man squad to a 2-man squad? No, he intends to put us against each other. I see. Alright, I'll play along. Naruto thought to himself. Now who's going to make the first move? If I know Sasuke. The last Uchiha burst from the trees with a hail of kunai in front of him aiming at the Junin. Speeding through hand seals he shot off a jutsu, fire style, fireball jutsu. A large fireball left the boy's mouth barreling at Kakashi. When the jutsu cleared, all that remained was a burning log stuck with many kunai. A substitution? He's good, thought Sasuke. Weren't you ever taught not to play with fire? Kakashi asked from behind him, book in hand. Don't underestimate me, I'm an Uchiha. Sasuke shouted. Immediately he engaged Kakashi in a bout of taijutsu, eventually forcing Kakashi to stash his book away. I'm no ordinary genin, he continued, as he came down with a heel drop intent on caving in the Junin's skull. Kakashi caught his leg and slammed him face first into the ground. First up. Taijutsu, not bad. He then disappeared, allowing the Uchiha to flip back onto his feet. Sasuke wearily looked around trying to find the Junin. Earth style. Headhunter jutsu, Kakashi called out. His hand shot out of the ground, grabbing his student's leg and dragging him into the earth, leaving only his head above the surface. Second up. Ninjutsu. Now stay here and think about what you did, the Junin said with an eye smile, subsequently disappearing. Sakura snuck her way through the forest, trying to find a good line of sight on the clearing. Third up. Genjutsu. The Junin appeared behind the pink-haired girl. Demonic illusion. Death mirage jutsu. The girl found herself alone. Sakura. Help me, Sasuke said, collapsing. With that, the pink-haired girl fainted. Kakashi would be lying if he said he wasn't disappointed. That was way too easy. He would need to change that. Alright Blondie, you're up. Kakashi thought to himself, disappearing in a body flicker back to the tree at the center of the clearing. Naruto had seen enough. He was ready. He was fairly confident the Junin wouldn't expect his kunai substitution, however he wasn't going to fall for it more than once. Kakashi was just about to get bored enough to initiate the fight when a volley of kunai shot out of the trees at him. He dodged them and simply waited, and his wait was rewarded as 12 Narutos came charging out of the trees, all jumping at him, fists cocked back. They all phased right through him. The clone being only an illusion. Naruto came from behind with a burst of speed, launching into a spin kick. The white-haired man batted the boy's leg away but was almost stunned to see Naruto instantly transition into a handstand that brought his opposite leg back around, leveled at the Junin's head. He quickly caught the leg, moving to throw Naruto, only for him to suddenly be caught holding a log as another volley of kunai came at him from behind. He dodged and simultaneously dropped the log, only for Naruto to appear out of thin air, hand gliding across a bell, but not enough to get a grip. Realizing he couldn't make the grab, Naruto transitioned into a handstand, spinning in place to bring his leg around to stroke Kakashi in the side. When Kakashi moved to catch the leg, Naruto suddenly let his arm buckle a bit, causing the height of his leg to drop from his sensei's midsection to his hip, just enough to avoid the hand poised to catch his leg and connect the kick did, with a log. Naruto ate the dirt. A substitution with a kunai, impressive. Almost reminds me of sensei, thought Kakashi as he slammed Naruto face down into the dirt. Neat trick, certainly impressive, but you'll have to do better than that, he said to the boy. The blonde craned his neck to smirk at his sensei as a large fireball, courtesy of the last Uchiha, barreled toward them. Kakashi tossed Naruto out of the line of fire and quickly replaced himself with a log. Finally dug yourself out, eh? Sasu-chan, Naruto said with a grin. Shut up, loser, I've got a bell to steal, said Sasuke with his ever-so-present attitude. No can do, sorry ski. With that, Naruto grabbed Sasuke by the torso and dashed into the trees. Finally deep enough in, he stopped as the Uchiha has been kicking the crap out of him. Loser, what the fuck? Sasuke hissed. Quiet, you're really not as smart as you're thought to be, you know that right? Naruto said with a quiet chuckle. This is a test of teamwork, think about it. Or do I need to explain it to you, bastard? Fuck, you're right. As much as I hate to admit it, it makes sense. Sasuke said begrudgingly. Of course I'm right, dipshit. Naruto growled. Anyway, we gotta find Sakura. HN, was his only reply. Naruto stuck his finger to the ground and began spreading his chakra out over the clearing. Finally he locked into the Pinkette's chakra signature. Alright, I've got her, let's go. Kakashi stood unmoving in the clearing. I didn't really expect that Sasuke would rescue Naruto. I think I'll wait and see what happens next, this could be interesting. The masked Junin thought to himself. Just as he began to consider pulling out his book, a volley of shuriken came at him from the woods. Quickly turning, the Junin moved to deflect them when a hail of kunai shot out from the opposite side of the clearing. A pincer? Kakashi thought quickly, one of those kunai might end up being Naruto in a second. The former Anbu deflected the shuriken, and quickly substituted with a log appearing across the clearing from where he had been standing. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. A fireball barreled toward Kakashi, ripping apart the clearing as it moved. Kakashi quickly dodged, then was confronted with a hail of shuriken. After deflecting them, he then immediately caught Sasuke's foot as it moved to catch him in the shoulder. The Junin threw the boy away, who righted himself and threw another hail of shuriken at Kakashi. As Sasuke landed, Kakashi called out, "You'll get nowhere doing this on your own." "I'm not alone," the last Uchiha yelled back. In the back of his mind he thought, I haven't been alone for a while now because of you, nay? Naruto? He landed and flashed through hand seals again, fire style, fireball jutsu. He smirked as it burnt toward the silver cyclops. Naruto. Now, he called out to his friend. 2 hails of kunai ripped from the trees at the new Junin sensei. He deflected them all and dodged others. As expected, one suddenly became Naruto, who launched a new set of kunai at the instructor as he turned to face the new combatant. The Junin's eye widened and he substituted with a log to escape and create distance. Good. But where's the other one? He called out. Right here, sensei. Sakura called as Kakashi looked and saw her standing alone, with one hand held in a snake hand seal. Explode, she yelled. Kakashi's eye widened as the 100 explosive tags around the field began to glow. Microseconds later they resounded with a ball of fire and a thunderclap-like boom. Kakashi appeared behind Sakura and caught her wrist as she tried to swing a kunai at him. Enough, he said. Well done all of you, you pass. He smiled at the genin. Eh? Came the voice of Sakura and Naruto. But we didn't get the bells, sensei? Sakura continued. It was never about the bells, my little genin. It was all about teamwork, and you've shown you have that in spades. I'm proud of all of you and you are all ready to be ninja. Kakashi had them all gather around the 3 posts at the far side of the clearing. Here he let them help themselves to the bento lunches he had waiting. As they ate he contemplated what to say next. Ushering them over to the memorial stone, he began. Upon this stone, we engraved the names of the heroes of Konoha. These are all shinobi who gave their lives in the line of duty for the village. Many of my friends' names rest upon this stone, along with that of my sensei. Who was your sensei, Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked gently. He smiled down at her. Minato Namikaze, or as you may know him, Lord 4th Hokage. What? No way. My sensei was trained by the 4th Hokage himself. You've got to be super strong, you know. Naruto's hands clapped over his mouth at the surprise of letting his verbal tick go in front of his new teammates and sensei. Kushina would be very proud of you, Naruto. He smiled at the boy, who looked oh so much like his late sensei. Wait, you knew mom? Yes I did, and I can tell you that the verbal tick of yours comes directly from her. Kakashi replied in a cheerful voice. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto said softly with a huge grin plastered on his face. The masked man looked to the last Uchiha. Sasuke, you've done well by your clan's name, and if they were here right now I'm sure that they would be very proud of you. Sasuke's eyes widened and a rare flicker of pure emotion shined through. After a moment, he settled back into his nonchalant, uncaring demeanor once again. Thanks. The Junin finally turned to the pinkette. Sakura, you have potential, but there are many things you need to work on. But I'm sure you do your family proud as well. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei, she said, smiling widely. A very wise shinobi once taught me a very valuable lesson. Kakashi began. Those that break the rules are trash. But those who abandon their comrades are worse than trash. Kakashi sighed, remembering Obito. It's a saying that should be beaten into your heads at the academy. But that doesn't happen, so I'll do it myself. He smiled once again. Over the next 3 months, Team 7 would meet every day in the morning and do team and individual training until the early afternoon. After that, they would head to the Hokage Tower and acquire and complete 6D rank missions. They quickly became Konoha's top rookie genin team with 546 completed D ranks under their belt. Adding to their feats, the instructor taught Sasuke and Sakura tree climbing and water walking. While doing so, he also helped Naruto complete his water walking training. Kakashi felt they would be ready. Team 7 walked through the door of the Hokage's office. Kakashi smiled at the Hokage and gave a greeting, yo. Kakashi, here to start your daily D ranks? Sarutobi smiled. I have a few here. He trailed off while shuffling around papers. Actually Lord Hokage, I'm here to request a sea tank for my cute little genin. Oh? It is about time now, isn't it? Let me see here. Bandits have been seen around Niba village. Abnormally large wolves have been terrorizing Hishikawa village. There's also Lord Hokage, we'll take the bandit mission, sir. Kakashi interrupted. Alright, it's settled. Team 7 is to dispatch immediately to Niba village in eastern Hai no Kuni. You will meet with the village elder, Ijima Tahaku. The Hokage gave his orders, and the team set out. After exiting the tower, Kakashi turned to face his team. Alright guys, I want you to go home, pack 1 week's worth of gear and meet me at the east gate, understood? A chorus of, "Yes, Kakashi-sensei," came from the 3 child soldiers. He chuckled, "It's about a full day's travel to Niba village, so be ready for a walk, got it?" The team scattered. "Nice to meet you, Mr. Iijima," Kakashi said as he and his team bowed before the village elder. "Thank you for coming to assist us, Mr. Hitaki." The elderly man bowed. "We've had trade caravans and travelers reporting that they have been confronted by bandits all around the village outskirts. Please take care of this problem for us." "Of course, Mr. Iijima, we'll be off then. We shall report back when the mission is complete," the white-haired man replied. The team turned sharp and headed outside of the village. The Junin turned to face his team. "I won't lie to you. It would be wrong to do so. There is a high probability that you will either witness a kill or directly kill someone yourself on this mission. I'm hoping you don't freeze up if you do so. However, don't worry as I will be watching over all 3 of you. Another possibility is that if the bandit group is large, there may missing nin amongst them. So be careful. Understood?" "Yes, sensei," came the reply of all 3 students. The masked man stared at them a minute longer before signaling for them to follow him toward a spot that a carriage had been attacked. Upon arriving at the day-old scene, Kakashi began to investigate. Taking note of the area, he found a series of drag marks. With closer inspection, he deduced that chests of goods had been dragged sloppily back to the bandit camp. "Come," he said, "we'll follow this trail to the camp, scout it out, make a plan, and then take care of the problem. Understood?" The 3 genin all nodded their heads at him. With that, they took off along the trail. Team 7 was on the hunt. So that is it for this chapter. I hope you all liked this new story. As I said earlier from the intro, just check the description for more information about the author of this story. Now that that's all out of the way, I hope all of you enjoyed watching or listening to this video. Leaving a like will be very much appreciated. Anyways, see you all later and bye.